Morning, everybody. Michelle is here on this this is Thanksgiving Eve or whatever, December 24th, 2024. And I know people are in on a Tuesday. I know a lot of people are in the numbers and all of this kind of stuff, and that's fantastic. It is about numbers. It is about calculations. It is about probability. It is about science. It is about astrology. It is about all of that, that component of energy. So I know why people get all worked up, because they know there's some power there. But unfortunately, a lot of it is pseudo, what is being presented to us from so-called scientists and those that are operating in that field, because all you have to do is look at the results. If there's a mathematical calculation of events, and you have the formula to calculate it, you'll have the results to prove it. And anyone can be taught to do that, by the way. So I just wanted to come on through. I was looking for that video I had out a while ago where people are talking about being chosen ones, and then the number 144210, the 144s, 144,000 so-called chosen ones. And I think I put in the video, my other glasses, I need to fix them, so I'm wearing these big glasses, and it's I have to raise up to read, because blah blah blah, we know what's going on. So I was attempting to look for that video about the 144, and I do remember saying this, that a lot of people are focusing on 144,000 people supposedly are the chosen ones. And I said that's inadequate. That's not right. That's inadequate. It's not right. Okay, how about that? That's an inaccurate presumption. Okay, it's not true at all. But just stay with me, because it will make sense. If you just remember, when you come to my videos for guidance, information, you need to suspend your ego, suspend your labeling, suspend your identity, suspend your titles, suspend your education. Just suspend all of that for a moment and just calm down, breathe, ground yourself. I prefer that you're barefoot. I prefer that you're facing south, okay? And just bring yourself into a attentive, focused reality for a moment. It's not going to be long. And then once I'm done with you, you can go back to life. Go back to your life as you see fit. So I told you in that video, I'll find it, this so-called chosen ones, 144,000 people, okay, that's inadequate. Okay, is not, that's not correct. Over the course of time, and let's just go back 2,000 years. I told you there have been a series of messengers that have come through to attempt to teach us, to wake us up, to alert us to pending events if we don't take care of what we need to take care of, right now. It was right now 2,000 years ago. It was right now 4,000 years ago, because over the course of time, we've had numerous messengers come through. Right. Now, with those messengers, because one person cannot do it all, even though be careful with you all, because people get all offended by that. But if you suspend your ego, that wouldn't bother you. But some people, it bothers them to say you all. So what has happened, though, over the course of time, with interference and the muddling of information, stuff has been confused. Most of the time intentionally. I told you, with these messengers, they have disciples. That's an old term that's no longer, it has expired. That term has expired. What it is now is just helpers, assistants, to help to disseminate. Because like I said, one person cannot do it all. But yet we want to say that one person is all that. And that's why all this this carrying on has developed over the course of time. One person cannot do it all. And if you have one person claiming such, okay, you're part of a cult, CULT. Okay, this hierarchical leadership type of BS. Okay, well, anyway, this 144, the 144,000 people that a lot of people love to just kind of want to be a part of that. Over the course of time, there have been groups of 144,000 each, which had built to millions and millions of people. Do the math. If you do the math, over the course of time, it built to millions of people attempting to do this helping of the messengers, because of how our population has expanded and expanded and expanded and expanded. Now, right now, during these timings, because we weren't following the math, we weren't calculating properly, we weren't using probability properly, we were not using genuine science, and most importantly, logic, rational and reasonable thinking, which includes all of our sensing. It includes abstract, subjective, objective, along with, like I said, all of our sensing. What you're sensing, all of that is part of thinking. Stand by. Drinking some coffee and then I get heated up in this place. I told you how the insulation is not good. It'll be freezing. Had on I just finished my walk actually, and I had on 3 layers of clothing, and it feels fantastic outside. Actually, it's supposedly in the 40s, and so I did my walk, came on back. Now I'm starting to start my day. I had 3 layers on when I went outside. Like I said, it felt good. You need it because it's in the 40s. And then as soon as I come in here, in the beginning it felt nice and cool, and now it's heated up. But anyway, the 144s there were almost millions of people that can consider themselves the 144s. Okay. And it's actually 144 to 10, by the way. But anyway, we won't, I told you it's about numbers and the calculations and numbers, and that's why the pi is off, PI. That's why that's off. Those, the accuracy of your math has to math. Okay? And so a lot of times things were not mathing for millennia. Okay? Numbers were off. Calculations were off. That's why our population, a lot of people think we only have 8 billion people on the planet. No, we actually have 10 billion actually. And so we are spiraling towards disaster because of the amount of us on this planet. We're causing this planet to spin. Okay, and I told you at some point this planet is going to spin and spin into the sun, disintegrate and come out and create different forms of energy. We're all energy, but our energy has to be used properly. Otherwise, it'll be used for other means. Okay. So the 144, there's millions of people that are running around calling themselves the 144s. Okay. Now, over the course of time, yes, let's say 2,000 years ago, say there was 144,000 people back then assisting with the messenger. And over the course of time, the majority of the 144s they descended into descended they devolved, degenerate, became perversive, deviant, all of those elements that caused them to not raise their vibration or horizontal, they descended. And now everything's spiraling out of control because of the amount of people on the planet interfering. I told you we're all spiritual energy. We're interfering with each other, with our frequencies. We're all energy, but we need a proper distance between each other so that we can properly assess our energy components, via our consciousness. And I keep pointing back here, but our consciousness is energy. So I keep pointing back here because that's where the pineal gland is, and that's a highly, important organ in our, near our brain, our spine, or wherever it is. So over the course of time, the majority of the so-called groups of 144s disintegrated. Some of them split it off and created their own religion. Some of them split it off and created their own cults. Some of them spin off and created their own madness and blah, 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 blah. So, and those that are in this so-called chosen group of people, they know exactly what they're doing. I told you they pay close attention to the messengers because they know who the messengers are. The genuine messengers, they know who they are. And I told you there was this one person that came forward, so many years ago, and those so-called quote unquote chosen one knew that this was the genuine person. This is the person that they had been waiting for. And a lot of them descended on this person. They won't admit it. A lot of them had passed away. But a lot of them descended on this person because they knew this person was telling the truth. And they descended on that person because they wanted to take what this person had. They didn't want to necessarily be taught. They wanted to take what this person had so that they can put it into their folds, and start, because over the course of time, a lot of people are starting to wake up and say, wait a second. You said this is what's in the Bible here. This is what's in the Quran here. But blah, blah, blah. People are starting putting pieces together. And that's a threat. That is a threat. So that's why you had a lot of assassinations of certain public figures. Okay, whether they were scientists, whether they were artists, whether they were considered themselves pastors, whatever they consider themselves. That's why assassinations took place. And then assassinations took place for other reasons as well. But again, the truth is a threat, whether it's coming from a politician's mouth, a preacher's mouth, celebrity's mouth. It can be a threat if it resonates properly and and strikes the right people. Okay, that's a threat. Scientists and philosophers, psychiatrists, all of these minds are in that pot. We're all in that pot. And what I call that crabs in a bucket mentality. So that's what so my point is that 144, 210, the 144, the 144,000 is actually 144, 210. Okay, that is what was presently the number. Now, again, the 144, the 144 came in numerous groups of people. Okay, that's why we have these split off. I said religions and cults and groups and this and that and the other. Over the course of time, let's say over, instead of listening to the messenger, learning from the messenger, what a lot of these groups were doing is attempting to steal, which they did, take, resorting back to the behaviors and actions that they've had for millennia, since the beginning, the degeneracy, the deviancy, the perversion, the hate, and most importantly and sadly, that criminal negative energy. Okay, it's been around. It's been around, and now it's fortified to a point of you're going to need massive amount of consciousness, skills and abilities and strength to take it on. And a lot of people can't. They don't have the strength to get out of bed. Okay? Some people have no strength to get out of bed because they're depressed. They're despondent. And I say you don't have to. You don't have to live that way. You have been intentionally manipulated. You have been intentionally deceived. Just pay attention. Be gentle about that. Recognize it's not you in most cases, but you have to be the one to snap out of it and get yourself out of that trance of believing that, okay, these people have all this power, that hierarchical structure. Usually you see them in churches. Come on now. That hierarchical structure, and that you can't even talk to that person. And I can understand why, like I said, why nobody wants to be bothered now. It's too late. Nobody wants to be bothered. You cannot, because you'll be draining energy in most cases. Most cases, people are going to be draining your energy. So my point is, because of the contamination of the 144s, the 144,000, again, like I said, it resulted in millions of people. No one knows who's telling you the truth now. It's muddled now. It's more muddled than ever, and it will continue to be so. But again, once you evolve your consciousness, you'll be able to recognize signs of deception and manipulation. Even though you still may be deceived and manipulated, you'll recognize, oh, okay, I missed that. All right, cool. I don't take it on personally. When I've been deceived and manipulated, I don't take it personally. Yeah, I'm disappointed. It's like, damn, how did I miss that? And so I use it as an opportunity just to learn. So what I'm probably going to do over the course of these, before the changing of the guards, which is a literal, figuratively metaphoric. And the reason why it's so significant because it's gonna be ushering us into the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Whoever those leaders are. A lot of people call it the golden age. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people look at things in a literal sense. They don't understand the consequences of the golden age. Like the sun can warm you, but the sun can also kill you as well. Okay, the sun can warm you, but the sun can also cause harm to you as well. Okay, so my point is, and what I hope to do, and let me also say this to those of you that are out there, attempting to assist people, attempting to, disseminate to people, to talk to people. I love how some of you are so kind and gentle, but yet you are on point. You're not weak and submissive and subservient. No, you're sitting up straight. You're looking, in the camera. Sometimes I'm all over the camera, but your approach is direct, clear, and effective. Okay, I appreciate that. You are putting it to people, the truth to them, in a kind and gentle way, but yet you are making it clear and effective. Where it becomes, where you're attempting to have them recognize that they're illogical. There's no reason. There's no rational thought to what you are reading per se in any book. It doesn't matter what book it is. If you're not able to apply some logic, rational, or reasonable thinking to it, subjective, objective, abstract, okay? Are you sensing involved? What's the calculation? What's the probability? What's the results? And some of you can do that. And I'm listening to a lot of you. When I have time, I listen to a lot of you on the social media platform. I feel very encouraged. I really do, despite what we're up against, because it's devastating. What we're up against is catastrophic. Okay, catastrophic. And listen to this very carefully. But anyway, I want to send love to those people. You know who you are. Sometimes I can follow you, sometimes I can't. Sometimes I listen to your videos, sometimes I can't. Sometimes I see you in person, but sometimes, it's a whole range of interaction with people and engaging with people. That's all energy. And you have to be creative about it. How are you going to reach people? Be creative. Use your platform. Use your self-employment, your entrepreneur skills. Yes, you need to make a living. Yes, make a living. Yes, you need to have the basic necessities in life. Yes, do so. If you are creative, especially the creative ones, the ones with the ability to create art, music, those sounds and tones, the beautiful visionaries, and a lot of them are not using artificial intelligence for that. They use artificial intelligence for assistance. We have to. We're too massively overpopulated. Okay, and so as I said about the 144,000, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between who's genuine and who's not unless you apply principle discernment to figure out, okay, who is telling you what. And this is not to hurt anyone's income, but just start being more creative about how you're using your skills and abilities, especially the innately inclined ones. Okay, a lot of the innately inclined ones are are devolving. I don't know what's going on with my words this morning. That happens. But you're devolving and becoming, it's like esoteric magic. Okay. Innately inclined ones do not need tarot cards. I'm going to say it again. You don't need to be reading palms. You don't need to be applying any kind of magic, potions, witchcraft, voodoo. You don't need it. Okay, so be creative and figure that out. You know better. Okay? So, and stop. A lot of you are swirling. I can tell a lot of you are swirling in that criminal energy too. You're using your femininity, that powerful femininity, to seduce people and put them in a spell, because it can happen to the best of us. We all can be hypnotized. Okay, and all of a sudden you're giving away all your property. Somebody says, give away your property, give me $10,000, give me, just calm it down. You don't need to do that. Okay, your feminine energy is enough. Okay, your feminine energy is enough. That's why so many biological men, want a piece of that, and call themselves, there's this danger, and I think it's too late as well, that we're not going to have a proper amount of masculine energy to help carry this planet through. We don't have enough proper masculine energy from biological men to carry this planet to the next stages of our development. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that there's going to be possibly, we're in war. We're constantly in war, fighting. And because so many biological men, in my opinion, hate their masculinity, they have a hatred of their masculinity, guess who's going to start fighting in these wars? A lot of these so-called masculine women. Okay? Think about that. We're not going to have the proper amount of masculine energy to protect our women, to protect our children, to protect our country, to protect our planet, to protect our universe. But I said this a while ago, there are planets out there that are only women on those planets. And the reason is because of the disappearing proper amount of masculine energy. Instead of, that masculine energy became so degenerate, so deviant, so, where women just weren't safe to be around any of them. It just was not safe for a biological woman to be around that type of energy of a so-called quote-unquote man or masculinity or whatever it was. So it's very sad when you look at the big picture, So it's going to be more difficult than ever to know the difference between who's genuine and who's charlatan, who's but there are some people that are very clever. You're doing things properly with the best that you can, and that's all you can do. You're doing the best you can to help people to think and read some of these passages in any book, so-called spiritual book, and say, okay, well, what's logical about that? What's rational? Okay, and can I reproduce that? Because you ought to be able to. You have just as much power as the power you give these hierarchical structure of people, whether they're pastor, popes, politicians, celebrities. Okay? So I wanted to come on through this morning, because I know it's a timing where people are home, and I hope it's a timing of reflection. I hope it's a timing of, if you need to readjust, reset, regroup, it's a timing of being genuinely grounded in what is really before you. Are you being honest with yourself? Okay, are you being kind and gentle and giving yourself some grace and relax a little bit? If you're not into meditation, some form of meditation, then you're just going to compound stuff and make it so difficult to uncover yourself. You're gonna not recognize yourself in the mirror. Yes, you will not. You're not gonna know who you're talking to in the mirror, who you're looking at in the mirror when you get up in the morning. You're gonna be foreign in your own body. That's that disconnect. So, but it's simple to correct. That's the point. It's not gonna take 10, 20, 30 years. It can be done so quickly. To heal can be done snap of the finger sometimes. It depends on you. It depends on you. What do you want to do? Do you like that? Some people have allowed their pain, that physical pain to become a companion to them. So they're wondering why nobody wants to be around them. Okay? They're wondering why people all of a sudden, because again, when you are attempting to help people and teach people and guide people, sometimes you do have to raise your voice now. But at the same time, you need to be neutral and you need to be flowing properly. Okay? And we as the ones that are attempting to help, we could take all that battling, but who will? Who's gonna keep putting up with that every day? Not me. And not a lot of others as well. I don't need to. I don't need to. Because what's the purpose of that? I've worked on myself so hard. Why would I allow myself to be battered into the, but you're going to get that from other people. And sometimes that's a sign of people coming to a point of, wait a second here. Contradictions are necessary. You need to have contradictions. Because contradictions allow you to say, wait a second, put the pieces together. Sometimes with techniques, you have to throw out certain type of techniques with people. I know what I'm doing when I'm dealing with people. I know what I'm doing, and it's a strategy. It's being creative. You may have to use certain techniques and be able to dart these insults. Like when I was a first responder, I had to dart insults, but I still provided some people with what they needed. And a lot of them came back and apologized. So I know what I'm doing. I know I'm doing something fantastic here. And it's an opportunity that I won't miss. And like I said, if I can just touch one person, my job is definitely worth it. My duties are worth it. And I wouldn't trade that for nothing in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I didn't meant for this to go too long, but that's okay. Hey, you got time to be reflective. Listen to some of my stuff. If you don't like it, you don't have to. Put your own stuff out there if you think you can help humanity. Okay? It's peace and love. all over the stars and moon and mountains. And trust me, I'll be back.